Sup, homies? Sup, homies? The miracle bag. Yeah, Darren. I got my stuff on. What stuff on? Bump, tick a bucket, tick on, but tick a dun dun dun, tick a ducket, tick on, tick a dun dun dun, tick a tick. Yeah, that's for all the homies on TikTok. Bump, tick a bucket, tick on, tick a tick a tick. Gotta do the dances, man. I put it on this thing. So I don't look so old. But I'm still practicing. Because I'm the beast master. So there. I just watched the most amazing thing happens. The most amazing thing happens when you follow Einstein's math. I don't really follow Einstein's math. I know you people are infatuated with Einstein. I know you're infatuated with Einstein. I don't write any math. I'm so far beyond what you motherfuckers understand that there is no math anymore for me. There is no more math. How do you write math when it doesn't exist? Do you know, right? If you paid as much attention to the math that's unsolved that motherfuckers have written, that didn't know what they had, right, and solved that shit, right, you get a better understanding of what it is that we're actually in, because there's so much math out there that's been written, right, that nobody knew how to read, and it's just been left, or a problem that's been written. And speaking of which, right, did Einstein not leave us problems? Did he not leave us problems? Wasn't one entitled Dark Black Hole? Did he have another one, The Properties of a Black Hole? Did he not have another one called Quantum Gravity? Which was basically the fact that he was, although Sir Isaac Newton, he believed that, that his idea, in gravity as such, he believed that gravity was there, but he believed that there was some kind of a force that universally, was the force that, that the universe, was dictated by. So having, and don't get me wrong, like, I mean, surely you motherfuckers out there, right? Forgive my language, because technically I'm not a scientist, right? So all this shit about, the curvature of space-time and that, what the? Seriously? You fucking eggheads waste your time on that shit? Really, what's the significance of that crap? What do you hope to prove with that shit, right? I was watching that video, like, and basically it said, that there's the possibility that you travel through here, and there's your light, and your cone of light, and you go in there, and this time, that's the future, and that's the... What the fuck are you eggheads doing? What are you doing? You got no understanding of what the fuck is out there, do you? You have no idea. Do any of you honestly fucking know what you're doing? I honestly have to ask you that, right? Because you're so remedial to me, and you're talking in these big terms of, singularity, reaching the point of singularity, and limitless time and limitless all this shit's like, wow, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking. You don't even know that E equals MC squared is wrong, right? Wow, really? Unless you can get that, because like some eggheads going on about trying to find the solution to Einstein's field equations. Really, you need to sit down and try and work out what the fuck Einstein was talking about, like through the math. Really? What, you can't just fucking think of that shit? You've got to sit down and have somebody write that shit, do you? No, I don't. No, that shit was fucking really basic for me. Like I'm saying, I realised that Einstein for his time was very advanced, but he didn't know a lot of shit that I just take for granted. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. Yeah? Einstein was good, for his time, but I leapfrogged that motherfucker years ago. There's so much in theory of relativity and quantum mechanics that he just left out because he just didn't know it. At the end of the day, you eggheads are like trying to decide if there's a parallel universe, as you call it, right? Whereas there's white black hole. There's a white hole as opposed to a black hole. Now, I said in the first video that the opposite of black isn't actually white. What's the opposite of black? Is in color. I said it's white, and I said no, it's not. Well, it turns out it is, because I didn't realize I'd never seen that video. I hadn't gone through specifically the field equations that set out by Einstein, because it's just a waste of fucking time. Honestly, like I said, I just watched a video where he's all just turned around and said, no, we don't know if they exist or not. It's like, fuck me, do it really? So you went through all that shit and you sat down, you wrote all that science, and you came up with nothing. No wonder you never fucking solved nothing. There is a second universe. Like as I said in the first clip that I did. Yeah, there's a second universe. Yeah, of course there is. Why? Because it comes under the law of motion. You dickheads, right? How the fuck don't you know that, right? It's so remedial that it's stupid that you don't know that, right? And obviously, the other black hole is, obviously a white hole. Obviously, black is the opposite of, white is the opposite of black. So I retract my earlier statement that white isn't the opposite of black. It is. Right? Therefore, when you go through the black hole, the orbiting black hole, right? At the other end is the white hole. No, it's not. Actually, no, it's not. It isn't. For whatever reason, you go into the black hole and that's it. There is no other side. There is no other side. You can only go out through what's in the black hole. And you're talking about like all these layers, and it's it could be 3 layers and shit. Where did one of yous motherfuckers, come up with what the black hole's made of? Like you said, it was made of all these layers and shit, right? Why? Why do you think it was made of layers, right? Why did it? What is it made of? What do you mean layers? Layers of what? Layers of what? Do you realise your equations your math can't do shit to work out what the substance is that the black hole's made of? Where are you going to write that fucking equation, you idiots? Huh? How the fuck are you going to work that shit out? How are you going to work out what the purpose is of life on Earth? How the fuck are you going to get to that? Like that's part of physics, isn't it? Life. Our life, what we're here for. I mean, you don't stop to think that maybe that we're here for a reason. Because like, how would you write an equation that says it's structured so you can prove that the actual existence of something has a purpose? How are you going to write that shit when you don't even know existence is actually a thing that in theoretical science needs to be defined? Like, you haven't even got that far. You're fucking pulling your cocks over, field equations. Who gives a shit at fucking space time? That shit. It's. I don't know why you lamented on that crap, right? For a start, like who gives a shit? How you go around the sun, right? At the end of the day, it's pretty fucking hot. So the other thing that you have to remember too, and I didn't put this into the whole Big Bang scenario, but obviously when the Big Bang and the universes came into play, temperature obviously plays a part too, obviously in what happens inside the universe. And why is that? Because obviously a particle can be in different forms. It can be in a vapor, it can be in a gas, it can be in a liquid form, a solid form. Because if it's a metal, it can be liquid and that kind of shit. So and work and force and these kind of things. I didn't really expand as much as what I probably could have on it. But, because I just take it all for granted, and I just assume that I don't know, like just watching that video, like how you fucked around about those field equations. Seriously? Seriously, who gives a shit? It's got no bearing on the fact. Like I've leapfrogged Einstein years ago, right? He was good for his time, but he's a bit of a fucking fluffer at the end of the day. Couldn't prove wormholes, right? He did all that shit with the fucking black hole and didn't realise, that's where the fucking wormhole actually is. He couldn't invent his own problem, the black hole. And it tells you that inside the orbiting black hole on the walls are wormholes. And they're in the shape of the prisms. They're in the shape of planes. And when you're actually going through that problem, right, it actually allows you to calculate. You can calculate where it comes out. where it comes out. And basically it comes out at the other black hole. Now, so you go through a gateway, right? But how do you get into the gateway? Because it's a gateway that leads into the wormhole that goes through the fourth dimension, comes out at the other side. And because of symmetry, right? You've got the gateway, and then you've got the gateway at the other end, which is the opposite. It's not parallel, you fuckers. And then you're talking about like the antiverse. You're talking about the antiverse. It's opposite. It's not anti, it's opposite, you fuckheads, right? It's opposite. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Get that shit, right? So magnetism, right? If magnetism is an action, then then there's an opposite. Yeah. So if in our universe, north is at the top, and polarity is such that north is pulled towards the Jupiter, but in that universe they go the other way around, and therefore south is the polarity that gets pulled towards south. So you know what I mean? It's south is the the dominating pole. So and therefore as I was saying, you get the gravity is such that it pushes you away. But you can combat that shit anyway. They say like you can just go back into the black hole. You can just go back into the. No, you can't. You can't, because apparently, like it was just saying that if you go into the white hole, you can only get spat back out of it. And like nothing comes out of the black hole. They've said nothing comes out of the black hole, so you can't come through unless there's white holes. Unless you can find another black hole, you're stuck in that fucking other universe. You're stuck in it until you can find your way into a black hole. That's there has to be a black hole somewhere. There has to be a white hole. There has to be a white hole somewhere in our universe. It just has to be. Otherwise, we're stuck. We're stuck. There's got to be a white hole here somewhere. There has to be. It just fucking has to be. Otherwise, we get stuck in that second universe. And I was saying about like space getting sucked into the black hole. I thought I took for granted it, because the universes are growing, right? So they're getting blown up like balloons. Pretty well much. Getting blown up like balloons. At the end of the day, it'd be very hard, like for that stuff to get spat out of the black hole and then walk into that reverse gravity, as you call it. It's not reverse gravity; it's fucking magnetism. It's magnetism. Gravity is just it's a wrongly defined magnetism. Gravity. What's gravity? There's no gravity. There's no gravity on the moon. Do you know why there's no gravity on the moon? You think about it, man. Most of the shit that grows has got like sap or on the planet. Most things that are alive on the planet, right, that we live on, this planet, like say planet Earth, say the only planet in existence with life on it, right? Because basically it is. But we've all got fucking sap, some form of blood inside us. And you think of humans, right? Or humans, right? Well, we're full of iron. Iron, really? Iron. Well, iron and our core. Our core's iron. Yeah, the core is iron. So iron. Yeah. We're kind of fucking, in a way, we're kind of magnetized to the planet, aren't we? Gravity's not pushing us down at all. We're getting held to it. We've got iron in our bodies, man. We've got iron in our bodies. Holy shit, well, you can't work that shit out either. Gravity, it's magnetism. It's a form of magnetism. Therefore, it pushes the iron that's inside the living organisms to the ground. Keeps us on the ground. It's the iron in our body. That's why we've got iron in our body. That's why we've got iron in our body. If you didn't have any iron in your body, you'd probably float away. And that's actually a concept in which you actually can. You can actually float. You can actually walk on air. You can walk on air. And all this bullshit about cars and carbon emissions and all that kind of crap. If you actually wanted to know, if he's got off your fucking bums, all right, and actually put some fucking thought into what you were doing, because you're meant to be, good at what you do, right? You'd realise that, magnetism obviously is free. Why the fuck are we paying for fuel and electricity? And why the fuck? And like going back to that whole purposing, right? Obviously I know because I'm the most advanced scientific mind of our kind, right? I know that the universe, it has a purpose. Its purpose is to grow, right? But basically everything has a purpose, right? If something loses its purpose, and this is the real, from my point of view, don't get me wrong, I've had this, I've known all this stuff for a long time. So, I've been thinking about, I just think about it at times because it's weird. It's kind of weird, but the Earth, right? It's got it shows signs of tropism, and so does the universe, right? If something fucks up in the universe, basically the universe sets about fixing it up, and if it can't fix it up, do you know what it does? Yeah, it fucks it off. Yeah, it fucks it off. Yeah, no shit. Absolutely fucks it off. That's how you get a supernova, right? Because basically your Jupiter, right, loses its moon, and then for whatever reason it's lost its magnetic field, and then it collides with the star, and it resets. And that's the universe doing that shit. It's the universe doing that. And you think to yourself, well, how could it lose its moon? Or maybe it loses, how does it, because what we don't understand is that the solar system has a purpose. Yeah, the solar system has a purpose. All right, what's the solar system's purpose? Well, going back to the black hole, right, because we orbit around it, right? And how do we orbit around it? Like, you're trying to say that, what were you trying to say? Like, I think there was some dumb shit, about, I don't know. Somebody had some dumb shit to say about like how we go around the sun, right? At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, we don't orbit around the sun. We don't orbit at all. We don't fucking orbit. What's this fucking orbit shit? And we get pulled around the sun. And why do we get pulled around it? Because the sun pulls us the fuck around it. It does. It pulls us around it. There's a force there. Because the sun, the more work that goes around our sun, it grows. It grows with the work that goes around it, right? So the more work that goes around it, the bigger it gets, right? And the bigger it gets, the more fucking energy it can shoot out into fucking interstellar space. Not to interstellar space. The galaxies are pulled around the black hole deliberately by the black hole. Why the black hole? The black hole is made of a particular substance, right? And it has to be a really dense substance, right? And then it must have something to do with this fact that light can't escape from it. Well, you would think, wouldn't you, in some degree? But also the fact that you found all those layers. Remember, you found those layers, but you didn't go in. Where's the math for what the fuck the black hole's made of? I mean, you couldn't come up with the math for that. Well, obviously it must be made of something. Obviously, it's got these layers and shit. And you're saying there's this inner bit, and then if you get through that, you can get to this. If you get through that, you can get to this. Holy shit! You just make it sound so hard and so technical. No, basically, like the event horizon, right? If you started solving the equations, Einstein was all right. Right? The field equations are kind of bullshit. Right? To be honest, you can skip past them. You don't really give a shit. Right? At the end of the day, as long as you know magnetism is the force, right? You don't have to worry about the field equations. You don't really need to worry about Einstein. He didn't really have he got to where he did. He gave us the wormhole, right? You guys at the end of that video said, "No, I don't even think they exist." Yeah, they do exist, you dickheads. That's exactly how you get into that's exactly how you get through the black hole, right? The black hole to the white hole, right? They're in different universes, and they're not parallel. They're opposite. They're opposite each other. They're opposite because they are opposite. They're opposite. They're opposite in every fucking sense. Whereas the our magnetism draws things towards it. Their magnetism in theirs pushes things away. That's exactly what you'd expect it to do. There's pushes and our pulls, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. If you're sailing, you can still sail into the wind. Do you know what I mean? What's the difference? So you just find a way to maneuver through the magnetism that's pushing towards you, and that you don't even realise it's magnetism. And it's you didn't even know how to explain it. Of course it's a fucking form of magnetism. It's a form of magnetism that's fucking pushing against you. You're saying your spaceship, make it out of something that's not fucking magnetised. You can fucking sail through that shit. Do you know what I mean? You get me? You feel me, Holmes? You feel me? And do you know the reason? Do you know the reason why that's a white star in that end, and why things pop out of there and things go in through the black hole and pop out through the white hole? Because it's opposite, you motherfuckers. Didn't I just say that? Yeah, it's opposite. So the opposite of black is white. Yeah. So where it goes in, it comes out. Where it goes in, it comes out. Where it goes in, it comes out. Yeah, it comes out. Because believe it or not, you go into a wormhole, right? Because it's a gate. It starts off with a gateway. It's in a plane, 6-sided plane with a cube inside it. Fucking Einstein tried to draw that shit. I'll draw it for you, like a cube, a cube. Blue neon light, motherfuckers. How do you not know that? Blue neon light, and then it's in a plane. There's some kid, well, kid to me because I'm old, but some kid, and I read something like after he posted this to the internet, he disappeared. He was talking about the fourth dimension, and he's talking about it was the time dimension. He's using all these really imagine you doing it's like wow, you motherfuckers really overcomplicate shit. like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's like the funniest shit. Like, I think it's funny, right? Because I know all about the tomb builders, right? I know all about the tomb builders. I know that they didn't realize they were living on a planet, right? We're kind of mesmerized by the shit that they do, thinking, wow, they're so fucking mystical and magical and shit. They were dumb as fuck. They were dumb as fuck. They believed in their gods and shit. They didn't know where the sun went. Oh, they didn't know where the fucking sun went. I honestly God didn't know. And they were afraid of the fucking dark because they didn't know if the sun was ever going to come the next day. And they actually thought that the sun went over and then just went straight across. Straight across. It's funny as fuck. Like, they were really dumb. And we hold them in such high regard because none of you people actually know what the fuck they do. But we actually understand that they didn't change for thousands of years. Probably because they didn't. They didn't change. They didn't change for fucking like 2,000, 3,000 years. Like they didn't advance their technology. They didn't advance their technology or anything. They just lived the same way for fucking thousands and thousands of years. We can't stop fucking learning. And we can't stop learning. So we keep advancing ourselves. But those dumb fucks were stuck in the same dumb shit for thousands and thousands of years. It is a real dumb thing. Like, they were afraid of the dark. They didn't know where the sun went. They didn't realise the sun was like the sun and the planet went round it. They didn't realise they were on a planet for a start. They didn't realise they went around the sun. They thought the sun was some kind of a god. They actually thought it was some kind of a god. It was like, no, it's the sun, you dickheads. And what you motherfuckers don't know, right? Because I was in that documentary, they were talking about how the neutron star itself, right? Because it can implode, or it can implode into a white dwarf or a red dwarf and all that kind of dumb shit, right? All that kind of dumb shit. Basically, the neutron star, as it is in this solar system, right? You're talking about how the electrons, and they can shake and they give off this stabilization for the neutron star. But you're talking about electrons, as in little electrons that go around a proton, right? You're actually talking about, you don't actually even fucking realize that the moon, the moon, that moon, that thing in nighttime in the sky, you've probably seen it, the moon, that motherfucker is an electron. Well, you just don't know that. You just don't know that yet. Wow, you really don't. Well, that would make the Earth I don't know, let's go with this shit. Proton. Yeah, think about it. Yeah, the electron spins, and goes around the proton. Yeah, the proton spins, and goes around. Yeah, let's have a crack at the star. It's a neutron star, so let's call it a fucking neutron. Yeah, why the fuck not? Because it's called that anyway, right? So how the fuck? So all the moons, right? All the moons that are in there, and basically every planet is meant to have a moon. It's just meant to have it for work and revelation, as well as the fact of Johnson's property of three. Everything comes in three. Electron, proton, neutron. Everything comes in three. But the asteroid belt. Every solar system has an asteroid belt. Every one. There's two. There's one up at the Oort cloud, and there's one. They're there because that's how the moons are made. And when they come off the Jupiters and stuff like that, they go through the asteroid belt when they're heading towards the sun, or they go back out toward the Oort cloud. Now, I don't know, right? But because for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction, right? There's every possibility. But apparently we had Voyager disappear out into interstellar space. It apparently went past as far as it could go, out into interstellar space. Now, I'm confused. I would think if there was Venus, like, don't worry about Mercury, because Venus is upside down. It's trying to rotate the wrong way, because, you can clearly see when you look at the poles of every planet that we know of in our solar system, that they're positive. For Uranus and Neptune, it's the south. That's their dominant pole. They're at the top, and you can see they're all tilted and shit, right? And then for Venus is actually upside down. The motherfucker. It was over there, right, when the thing came out, and it got pulled up upside down. And now it's spitted that way. It's It's going the wrong way, motherfucker. You're in this universe. This universe, you got to go the other way. There's no logical reason why it's going the wrong way. It's going the wrong way really, really slowly. But that would be fucking shit up. No wonder it's full of sulfuric acid, and the planet's just going nuts. Because it's going the wrong way. It's going the wrong fucking way. Like, obviously that planet you wouldn't go anywhere fucking near that thing. No way, no. You wouldn't go anywhere near it. But of course it lost its magnetic field because it was going the wrong way. It's not generating the magnetic field. That's one of the reasons that we go the way we go. Because, that's part of the force. It's the magnetism that we generate between the moon. The moon and the planet is the magnetic field that surrounds us. You look at Jupiter, it's got a fucking massive magnetic field because it holds in all those fucking planets that it's got going around it as moons, right? So its moon floated away. It just floated away. And because it was on the other side of the sun, it started floating towards Jupiter. And then it came to the next body, heavenly body that had a magnetical field. And for anyone that reckons that the sun will grow and engulf the planets, right? Good on you, fuckhead, right? Proof that it won't is the fact that Mercury was an escaped moon, right? Mercury is an escaped moon. And one, I can prove that just by the fact it's measured in density and volume. Holy fuck. And same as Pluto. Pluto's a moon. Like, no wonder it was, stopped. They didn't regard it as a planet. Neil Tyson deGrasse, man. Honestly, right? You know the facts, right? But you can't work shit out, man. How would you not even know that was a moon? And all it does, it goes through the Oort cloud and the Jupiter. It's just helping to grow. It's just helping to grow the shit. It's just growing shit because that's what everything does. It grows. Everything's got a purpose. Everything's got a purpose. Like I said, if you don't fulfill your purpose, you get fucked off. Which means, obviously, we've got a purpose. We've got a purpose. Where's your equation that fucking tells you that shit, right? Where's your equation that tells you that Venus is upside down? Sometimes you got to fucking use your own intellect and fucking work this shit out on your own, all right? And I can't be fucking doing all this dumb shit for you. It's just fucking remedial shit to me, right? So basically, the solar system has a purpose, right? Purpose is that we feed energy out into the interstellar space and fucking into the black hole because it's made of something. It's made of something, right? And it's made of something that needs to be charged. Therefore, what is it made of? And I would believe it's made of carbon. So I solved Einstein's problem, the black hole. Now I know exactly what the fuck the black hole does. I know exactly what it does. Like, it's fucking remedial to me. The black hole, and the event horizon. I found that equation. Solved it. Do you want to know what it is? Yeah, it's an optical illusion. Why is that? Probably because how the light refracts. The light refracts due to the fact of the substance that the black hole itself is made out of. And what does it matter? Like the hardest material known to us in this universe. But it's got to be something. It's got to be something that can be charged. Therefore, it would then become magnetic in its own right. Yeah, you eggheads won't get this. Yeah, you eggheads won't get it because you fucking haven't got it so far. So I'll give it to you. Yeah, it's diamond. It's fucking diamond. It's made of diamond. And why couldn't Einstein get that shit? Well, because it's in a pattern. It's in a pattern, basically, isn't it? Like, an atomic structure. Where's your fucking math for that shit? The atomic structure, wasn't found. That particular pattern wasn't found until like 1997. And it's basically, it's inside the cylinder, because when you think about it, right, you got black hole, right? You got a black hole, and that's a sphere, right? And there's three universal geometric shapes. Right? You got the sphere, which is a round ball, but then you've got the cone, and you love the cone because you're talking about that fucking dumb shit with the cone, and you've got to be in your cone of light and all that kind of dumb shit. So you got your cone, which is conal. And then you've got azimuthal, which is a sphere basically sitting on a flat square bit of paper or whatever the fuck it is. But basically what that's saying, that's basically showing you that, I don't know, go with me on this shit, right? Say you're the moon, right? And the sun's bouncing off you, right? The beam from the sun comes as a back to front cone, right? And then it hits the moon. The moon at the back arse of it, right? It absorbs that shit because it's dark. It absorbs it, right? So at the front, it reflects it. Absorb, reflect, and discharge. Absorb, reflect, discharge. They're the three. Johnson's property of three. Absorb. Do you not know this shit? Are you fucking shitting me? This stuff's so remedial. I'm going to fucking catch you motherfuckers up. I could be talking for fucking weeks and weeks and months and months and months. You're still going with fucking field equations from Einstein. Holy shit, I leapfrogged that motherfucker years ago. Parallel universe? No, opposite universe. It's there. It really is there. How do you get into? You go into the black hole, as you say, into the black hole. On the walls, right? On the walls, there's honeycomb. Planes, and they're like inside a beehive. Like you would find fucking honeycomb, right? And each one is a fucking gateway. It's not a wormhole itself. It's a gateway into the wormhole. But yeah, it basically is opening up the gateway itself. It charges. It gets charged from the energy that the solar systems are shooting out of their galaxy, and altogether from the galaxy, from all the solar systems in the galaxy, it all goes to the fucking black hole, giving the black hole charged, therefore charging the wormhole gateways. And once fully charged, you can enter that shit. Bang, bang, and then you go zip, and you go through the fourth dimension, and in a moment in time, you fucking reappear, but probably upside down or back to front, because whatever it is, you got to be opposite, and then you'll be finding yourself inside the other half of the black hole. And as they said, you'll find that you're getting spat out. But when you get spat out, you're going to run into a negative current. Negative current. As opposed to the positive current that sucks you in. There's negative current that spits you out, but the current that's out in the universe out there, it's alternative. It's alternative. It's the opposite of what we've got. And it's not that hard, really, to they were talking about thrusting, right? Think about it. Is there oxygen in the vacuum of space? No. Why would you be thrusting shit at all? That shit's not going to work. You can't burn shit. Why bother burning shit? Once you realise magnetism is the force, right? Gotta fucking use that shit, right? Start to fucking open your minds and realise magnetism. Magnetism, all forms of it. What is it that charges the black hole? Well, it actually turned out it was really cool for me because I realised that at certain times, because when you sit down and you go through all the fucking shit that other people have just left, right? And you go through and you work out what the fuck they're talking about because nobody else could. You realise it says at some stage in our solar system, right? I'm reading this shit, right? Blah blah blah. I'm working out their math and I'm going blah blah blah. Some stage in our solar system, all the planets align, right? It told me that shit, right? What happened last year? Was it the start of last year or this year? The planets all aligned. I went, holy fuck, here we go. This is the first time we've ever seen this shit. I was waiting for us to die. But it turns out, no, we didn't. So we got through that event and it turns out, we didn't even realise what the fuck was going on. And that was really cool because it made me realise that we can't measure this shit. It had no effect on us, but I knew exactly what was happening. It turns out that ferromagnetism and anti-ferromagnetism is coming through all the planets and it grows in strength as it goes through to us and it hits the fucking sun, right? Hits the neutron star. But boom, and then it fucking bounces off, but fully charged, and it comes boo, 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 boo. And as it's going through the fucking planets, it's using those conal and cylindrical and azimuthal. They're the three fucking things that push the beam all the way through, back out into fucking interstellar space, out into the galaxy, and then it all joins together, and it all goes to the fucking black hole, because that's what we're fucking here to do. That's what we do. Now, the bigger the sun can get, right? The bigger, the more planets that we've got in the solar system, the more work we're pushing out into the fucking solar system, and the universe is going good shit. Because that's what we're fucking here for. They're not here for us, right? So we've got to get the fuck off this planet, because I'm pretty sure that thing's going to grow. And when it grows, right, we're not going to be in that good livable spot that we're in right now. And it's going to happen at some point. Obviously, it's going to happen at some point. So we need to not so much worry about us. But the fact is, we're the only motherfuckers, we're the only thing anywhere that's fucking alive. Which means, we've got to get the fuck onto somewhere else. In whatever capacity. There's every chance that we'll mutate into some completely other form of human, right? There is no doubt. But the fucking fact of the matter is, it's our job, it's our purpose to see that life gets to fucking elsewhere in the universe, all right? Fuck me. Where's your math for that shit, right? You can't have math for that shit. You've got to be fucking intellectually switched on to fucking work that shit out. You've got to have an understanding of what the fucking science is telling you. You got to be able to read it. You got to be able to fucking nurture it. You got to know it. And you motherfuckers procrastinating over fucking dumb shit of whether or not the space-time starts to curve around the sun. Who gives a fuck? Who fucking cares? The sun's the least of our fucking problems at the end of the day. You're talking about nuclear fission with the sun. You don't even know that the moons are electrons. Right? You've got the properties of an electron, right? Therefore, right, our moon doesn't spin. Yeah? You motherfuckers, how the fuck NASA went there? Didn't we go there? Well, you don't know that it's meant to spin. It's meant to fucking spin. Why doesn't it spin? Because obviously, Venus doesn't have a moon, does it, right? And I'm telling you that it's a proton. It's a proton, right? And Mars, it lost its moon. I think Ceres, that's in the asteroid belt, would have been its moon, but escaped. Therefore, what would, with the principles of a proton, right, that doesn't have an electron, right? What are the principles that surround that? They become negatively charged, don't they? Negatively charged. So what happens? They tried to steal another electron. And what's the only other electron close to Mars and close to fucking Venus? Fucking our moon. So our moon doesn't spin, right? Our moon doesn't spin. So I can only assume that, the time when the poles are tilted, right? when the axis of our pole tilted. Apparently it coincided with the last great extinction of life on this planet. But what actually happened was the 4 seasons came into existence due to the fact that the tilt of the axis was now as such that it was on a 37% axis tilt or something. But it gave us the seasons, right? And then we had the evolution basically of flaring trees. You know, that basically dicotyledons, you know, came into existence. Sea coral instead of freshwater coral. Seawater was the first time seawater was seen on our planet, right? So why would seawater come to our planet only at that time? Because before that was only freshwater. Why would a seawater came on? Because when you think about it, they tell us that the moon controls the tides. All right, well, I'm telling you that the moon doesn't spin, right? That our planet is deliberately holding our moon because Venus and Mars are trying to steal it. So our planet is deliberately holding that motherfucker. How can our planet deliberately know that fucking moon is... How? You tell me how our planet would know to fucking hold on to that moon. How would it know? Is it alive? And what's your definition of life? Tell me how the fuck we'd know if something was alive. What is alive? Death define life. Yeah, we can't because we're it. We don't appear on the periodic table anywhere. Blood doesn't, bone doesn't, wood doesn't. Basically, the universe is trying to say to us, don't fucking bother looking for that shit out there. It doesn't exist. Water, don't fire. Don't look for that shit out there. It doesn't exist. You're it. That's it. You're it. Yeah, you want to believe in spaceships and little green men and whatever the fuck. No, it's not out there. It's the periodic table tells it. It's not out there. Don't bother looking for that shit. We're it. We're it. Therefore, just accept it. Our fucking purpose is to get out there, colonise it. If we don't do it, it'll probably bring something else somewhere else and have a crack with something. So how do we get there? Yeah, what I'm saying, it will probably, the universe, right? There is every chance that the universe fucking is spiritually alive. Spiritually, the question is raised through science. It's spiritually, there could be fucking something out there, a creator, an actual creator that oversees shit, right? But